trees, but also the trees that are coming up to conserve the environment. And we're challenging you as our sister station is doing so. Spark TV, as they're celebrating 5 years of their news bulletin, they're choosing to give back to the community. Question is, what are you doing to give back to the community? Well, here on Morning at NTV, we're choosing to keep you informed as our community so that you can make better decisions. Remember, an informed mind is an informed decision. Now, speaking of information, today in our Kickstarter, we're going to be looking at the role of financial markets in economic growth. And do you know what financial markets are? And do you know how exactly they actually keep the economic growth in a cycle, year in, year out, season in, season out? Actually, for them, they work in hours, seconds, minutes. That is exactly how they work. And according to the 2019 triennial report from the Bank of International Settlements, which is a global bank for national central banks, the daily trading volume for Forex reached $6.6 trillion US. That was in 2019, shortly before COVID-19 became whoo. Now imagine if there was no COVID-19. I would like to have the imagined picture if there was no COVID-19, and my guest this morning could help me paint that picture. So one unique aspect of this international market is that there is no central marketplace for foreign exchange. You've never seen it. There's no Qatari. There's no Nakasero for it. There's no Nakawa market for it. Yet the currency trading is conducted electronically over the counter, which means that all transactions occur via computer networks among traders across the world. So you can trade with someone in the US right now where you are, and you no longer need even a computer. Your phone is the perfect computer. So rather than one centralized exchange, we want to fathom exactly how this market operates and how you can potentially tap into it. Rodin Kikomeko is here, and he's the Chief Finance with Dollarbill here in Kampala. You're most welcome, Rodin.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm quite well.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So
Yes.
information is what we're all about this morning. And so I want to ask you a very simple, basic question.
Yes,
we
please.
see it Forex exchange, dollar, what, yen, BTT,
Yes.
Rwanda, Kenya, Burundi. Then
Yes.
we see buying, selling. But so many Ugandans out there see these things on a daily, but
Yes.
cannot make sense of it. So
Yes.
help us understand, what is Forex exchange?
Okay. I'm by the names of Kikomeko Rodin. I'm the CFO of Dollarbill Traders Limited. And I have been in this industry for quite a while, over 5 years. But I have not been trading only the foreign exchange market. The market is quite broad. And if I'm to take you through, it could really take like an entire day. But to cut it short, basically the foreign exchange market is just the big boy among many, because the foreign exchange market falls under the financial markets. And basically these are marketplaces where you're having individuals, companies, or we can call them institutions, coming together to buy and sell different financial instruments. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I know people are wondering right now, okay, what are these financial instruments? And basically, these are non-physical assets, okay, which get their value, okay, from contractual claims like bonds. Okay, that's a very good example. You can also look at company shares. Mm-hmm. That's also another good example. They are grouped under a foreign exchange market, the stock exchange market, bond exchange market. You have the commodity exchange market. People have been involved in these markets, okay, but they do not know exactly how to really efficiently make money out of them. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. And the reason is because they do not really put in the effort to learn. Okay, the biggest challenge we face, even at the company, is that when someone reaches out and they want to come in for the My Money study program, it's going to take how long to learn?
Because Ugandans are we're quick. We want our gains to be seen immediately.
Exactly.
We are not willing to go through the patience of
Yes.
learning, going through the cycle
Exactly.
of the trials, trials, until you understand the
Yes.
system and the procedure, therefore,
Yes.
earn from it.
Yes. So the thing is, they'll ask you, how much will I earn? But can I learn in 1 month? You can imagine you're trying to learn something that controls the world. Because when you're looking at the foreign exchange market, you're talking about the flow of money. Basically, it's that. On top, you're looking at the central banks and the governments trying to place monetary policies that can try to facilitate, okay, or to try to control the local currency against other assets, okay? And with that comes so many procedures which are under what I will call the foreign exchange regimes. Basically, it's monetary policies that are going to help, okay, influence the currency depending on the economic conditions that are present. I'll give you a very good example of COVID-19, okay? During that period, we have big players. When we talk about big players, we're talking about big central banks like the Federal Reserve Bank, okay? And during that period under COVID, you're having people locked down. Companies are closed. There's no activity.
Oh, at least that's what we see.
Exactly, you see. But there is a big game that is going on.
So while we think everything is under lockdown,
yes,
there's an underground system that is continuously flowing.
Exactly.
In that line.
That's the thing, because at the end of the day, money still has to flow. At the end of the day, in an effort to try to rescue the economy, the Federal Reserve Bank had to print money, printing over $2 trillion US dollars, okay, as stimulus packages to give to the people monthly. And
they were giving out money to the population.
Exactly.
On a monthly basis, cashing it to their account.
Exactly.
And yet it was quote unquote unexpected.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. And what you are having is that with that, you know, scarcity breeds value, and abundancy takes away the value itself. Now, if you're providing so much cash and you're pumping so much cash in the economy, you're causing the dollar to lose value. And that's what happened. The dollar took a hit. It was really just falling and going down. Are you getting? Because of too much supply. Are you getting? Yet there is not so much activity that is going on, okay, to balance the other side. Okay? So once that happened, they knew what was going to happen. They knew that would trigger inflation. What's happening right now was created years back. Okay? And still, the decisions they're going to take are going to influence the big players to either buy or sell the actual assets. When I talk about the big players, I'm talking about institutional traders. I'm talking about the interbank market. Sorry, I'm going so deep and so fast. Yeah. Okay? But in these markets, we have two types of markets. We have the interbank side, which is the interbank market. For the big players, okay, you're having investment banks, you're having commercial banks, you're having asset managers, you're having big exchanges. And then we have the retail market where we fall as individuals, the small money, okay? We're also trying to come into the industry and try to make a living out of it, okay? It doesn't matter, even if you have $1 million, you still fall under the retail market. So
for us who don't have $1 million,
yes,
how much do we need to be able to potentially start engaging in this business?
You will be shocked. The very first thing you have to consider, first of all, before even you think about saying that I want to make money in the financial markets, the very first thing you have to do is to work on yourself. The mindset is the issue. People come into trading treating it as, you know what, get rich quick. And that's why people
there's get rich quick, and then there's the handout element, which is still in the mindset.
You see, this is a business. Before institutional traders come in and take trade positions, okay, they are considering several factors, economic, geopolitical tensions that are out there, before they consider to press the button of buying or selling. They are considering price zones. This is now so expensive for this asset. This is now so cheap. I'll give you a very good example. Tesla, in March 22nd, officially launched, okay, their Berlin manufacturing plant, okay? And that is considered good fundamental news, okay? Why? It's increasing efficiency in supply and distribution of the Tesla cars in the rest of Europe. And that is a major fundamental element that is going to trigger the institutional. When I talk about the institutional, I'm talking about the BlackRocks with assets under management of over 10 trillion US dollars. I'm talking about the Vanguards with over 8 trillion. I'm talking about largest investment banks. Okay, JP Morgan Chase, 2 trillion US dollars. So what is going to trigger them? This is one of the things that is going to trigger them to either buy or to sell. Going back to the point that you asked, how much does someone need? The very first thing I can advise people, invest in education. learn, just like any other profession, okay? Civil engineering, neurosurgery, all these things. You took time to learn. Now, what makes you think
that you're going to wake up, come with your cash, drop it on the table of Rodin, and expect Rodin to convert that into wealth for you without you taking yourself through the journey of understanding what he's doing with your money? Because one of the disadvantages of this, some of these systems, especially pyramid schemes that we have on the market, is that people, they give you the good that you can pick out, but they don't, what they don't really tell you is that when you get in there, you're going to be paying those that have already been there.
Exactly.
You're going to be making them richer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's not that these guys are actually doing trading, and I'll make it very, very clear. It's not that these scheming guys are coming, because what they're using this as the face. They're coming and saying, don't you know that the foreign exchange market has over $6.6 trillion in volume floating? So it has a lot of money. I can make you over 100% of your equity, okay, in 2 days if you give me this much. It is utterly ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous, okay? And I will not really take a huge blame on the public, reason being that the financial industry is still growing. The economy is agro-based, and that's why as dollar bill traders, we are coming in trying to look for a way, okay, on how to empower the private sector. And the one way is to change the mindset of the individuals. When you look at our study program, My Money, it's looking at how people can better manage their money. Their
finances.
Thank you so much.
What the little you have, because why is it that the guy in Owino is making money? I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, and they were telling me that their neighbor has been trading in book clothes in Owino for years and years. But they are living a wealthy life compared to a person who seems to be in SC with a paycheck at the end of the month, and they're not having the equivalent.
Exactly, because people are living their lives on paycheck to paycheck. They're just waiting for the salary at the end of the month. Okay, it doesn't matter how much you earn, okay? To a certain degree it matters. But at the end of the day, what are your abilities? What's your mindset? When you look at savings as, you know what, I only save at my bank. Come on, there are options. That's what we're teaching. Be open-minded. Look at unit trust funds. Okay, we're having so many large fund management firms out there. I was working with one, IC Asset Management, an amazing firm doing amazing work for its clientele in unit trust funds. Okay, these are safe assets that have good returns, reason being that they're tax exempt by law.
And this is information that is not readily available on the market unless one seeks it out. So when someone goes through that program, then they get to understand the financial market and how it's played, and they are better aware when they get into active participation. So then when they have received this information, what would be the next step?
Okay, the next step when you get the information, of course you're undergoing mentorship. We're there with you, working with you in the journey, okay? Then you look at a brokerage. Now that's the biggest part, because most of the people ask, how are you able to tap into the global markets? Huh? Through what? Brokerage systems. Okay? Brokerage systems. Just like here. Okay, you have the Uganda Securities Exchange. You have Crested Capital out there. Okay, and they're facilitating your participation in the stock exchange market. Now also, this side, when you're looking at global markets, you're having brokerages in between, retail brokerages that are giving you that liquidity, that are giving you the platforms where you can trade, where you deposit.
So for someone who doesn't understand what brokerage is, could you please break it down for me?
I break it down. Okay, let me say, an in-between, a middleman, okay, that is connecting you to the other side of the market, of the big players, of the institutional traders. I'm talking about the investment banks, broker. You get that in between. So they're giving you that platform where you can deposit and be able to trade by yourself as an individual in your own capacity. Okay? An example that of one that we work with is LItefinance. Okay? Globally licensed. Okay? Providing a wide variety of different financial assets, from stocks to currencies to different commodities. Okay? So don't trade everything. You trade currencies. You come from the pound dollar. You're considering the US dollar and the Japanese yen. No, get
There's
that one
need for
thing.
specialization.
Exactly.
And then grow in that line
Yes.
that you have chosen until you are able to milk it.
Exactly.
And then pick up on something else when
Thank
you become
you.
a master of
Yes.
one. Okay.
You don't even
Not a
have to
jack of all
consider.
trades.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't even need to consider so many assets. One asset is enough to make you a good sum of money. Okay? The assumption out there.
So it comes down to knowledge that you were talking
Yes.
about earlier, and because the people who attract Ugandans to this lifestyle or this nature
Yes.
of transacting, they really again paint them the bigger picture of, you know, if you try this and this and this and this,
Yes.
you can be able to achieve
Yes.
the dream that you have in your mind without
Yes.
stressing a lot. So let's come down to the element that you have mentioned, specialization.
Yes.
And how does one know that this is the right brokerage I should be going through? Could you give us highlights on how can someone tell that this is the right, company, this is the right brokerage, this is the right platform?
Okay. Now, the very first thing, what I can call the cheat sheet, is the actual mentor that is teaching you. Okay, they have gone through so many things. Myself, I've gone through so many things. There are brokerages that are legit and those that are not legit.
True.
Okay, and I come from a point of experience. Okay, I know what I look out for. I'll give you an example. Are they licensed globally? Okay, like here you have Capital Markets Authority, okay, that regulates fund managers in the country. You have Bank of Uganda regulating the banks in the country, okay. Now also there are global regulatory authorities that are there, okay. An example, FSA. There are several in different regions in the continent. You're also looking at what are their payment systems. Do they have mobile money provisions? Okay, we developed a local agency payment system whereby it relates to mobile money, where it's efficient to make provisions of payments to clientele. Okay, you're looking out for what are the assets that they're giving you. Are you getting? It all goes back to where you're getting the knowledge from. Look at NSSF. NSSF is really, really pushing hard to ensure people try to understand how to capitalize from these markets. With the NSSF Money Talk, look at it, a brilliant, brilliant initiative. Okay, the wise are watching. You see, they're watching, they're taking notes, they're learning. Okay, the others are being judgmental. Okay, having all these opinions of an industry that you do not understand. And I feel it is not right to judge from the outside and you do not know the actual reality that is inside. Okay? There is no need for you to say that you're giving someone else funds to trade for you. If that person is actually good, why do they need your money?
Yeah.
This market is so liquid. The New York Stock Exchange alone has a daily volume of over $200 billion. Okay, in a day. Okay, the foreign exchange market has over 6 trillion on average every single day. There is a lot of money to be made. Okay, and as long as you have the skill, don't look at it in this sense of I've put $100 and I want to push it to 10,000 US dollars in a week. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as people are considering this venture in Uganda, we have some underlying factors in there. The poverty mindset is one of them. Change in global trading markets is the other thing. And so I guess my question is, how is this venture faring in Uganda amidst all that, and also considering that there's a lot of reliance on cash flow?
Yes. Okay. The thing is, I can again say, the financial industry is still trying to grow in Uganda. The saving culture is very, very lacking. Okay, it's still lacking, and it's still trying to come out and boom. But I can really say that the fund managers, the main pension fund in the country, which is NSSF, Capital Markets Authority, other asset managing firms have really tried to educate and push and try to sensitize people, okay? Because at the end of the day, yes, you need the cash flow, but it's about the monitoring, budgeting, okay? Expense control, planning. It's about those elements. This is business at the end of the day. You don't look at this as something that is from the heavens, that is so new. This has existed. This controls the world. But people are treating it as, you know what, I put in money, I generate this, and I'm rich. Why? Because of YouTube. You're seeing Lamborghini boys, you're seeing these houses, I make this much.
Again,
flossing.
they give you the end result, but they don't show you the pain that they have to go through to get that end result.
Yes,
and that is
but
where,
at the end of the day.
And that's how people are falling into the trap of it.
Yes. And you know what is so sad? Is that these guys that are portraying that are just marketeers. In actual sense, they never trade.
Yeah, you remind me of a story I shared earlier with someone. There's this lady on Instagram who was just showing a flashy life. And one of her followers was always inspired and wanted to be like her because she was showing that she was progressing in what she was doing behind the scenes, which no one was seeing. But the image of it, she was going to the fancier restaurants, buying the brands of bags, shoes, dress codes, and being in Paris all the time. And fortunately, one of her followers wanted to hold a women's conference, and so she reaches out to this lady on Instagram. They exchange numbers, and she wants to invite her to inspire other women to have that kind of a life or achieve that kind of life. And guess what the lady told her? Like, no, actually I was thrown out of my house because I've not paid rent and I'm living in my friend's apartment on their couch. I have nothing to me. And so the image that was being sold compared to the realities is where we need to check. How do we get to the legitimate platforms? And so you talked about licensing. What else can someone look out for?
You're looking out for, first of all, look at the socials, okay? The socials of these different brokerages. I'll give you a trick. The one thing you can always look out for are the comments on the socials. If, let me say, a brokerage that you would use, okay, is not giving access to people, let me say like on Instagram, to be able to make comments, it's a red flag. Why? Yes, because those people right there are going to be
private accounts.
Exactly. If they're coming in and they're posting something, you know, normally people are going to react. People that perhaps were not paid, people that perhaps were duped or what, are going to comment. Okay, and be like, you know what, you've not yet processed my payment for this period, this and that. Why? Now, if they are not enabling it, okay, and they're hiding it, and they're making people not be able to view those, you have to look at the details. People don't pay attention to the details. Those are some of the signals, okay? But I can say that mentorship, that's why we put up the Micah Money program. Micah Money program aims at sensitizing people on how they can actually capitalize in the financial industry in general. We are tackling key concepts, okay, that have made people be stuck in poverty. Because our target is really uplifting the private sector. We believe that the private sector, empowering of the private sector, is the foundation to Africa development. That's what we believe as Dollarbill traders. So Micah Money is looking at teaching people how best can you budget your money, planning, from people that are actually on ground. This is not about that I went to university and I studied with the prominent professor. I mean,
so it's a person wrote a book and say that is titled "What They Don't Teach You at the University." So there's a lot of things they don't teach you at the university.
That's the thing, because appearance versus reality. When you come to the reality and you actually know the coffee business, okay, you'll be very shocked. You will need that farmer that is back there in Masaka to give you the actual details on the different dynamics in that specific industry. Even me, in case I wanted to enter into the media industry, I would try to, you know, try to create a relationship like with you. You know, try to understand, how do you do this? You know, how are you able to present like this? How are you able to speak like this? How do you present yourself with people? You see, it's about that. Now, we understood that we're supposed to have mentors, people that have actually been on the ground, people that have actually made the money in the markets.
And it's a reality.
And it's a reality. And they can actually talk to you and tell you, these are the issues. This is what is there. This works or it doesn't work. Do this or do that. Okay? But if you think you're just going to go on YouTube and put in...
self-teach.
and self-teach.
Well, it worked for Sisyphus in tennis.
Yes.
Anyway, as we come to a conclusion of this conversation,
yes,
you're talking about that program. So how can people access that program and enroll for it so that they can get the knowledge that will then settle the rest of this conversation?
Okay. People and companies, not just individuals, can check us out on our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, all of them. Even we have a YouTube channel, all the handles.
What are the handles?
Exactly. Then our website has all the information that you need.
What are the handles? What should people type in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Instagram, consider Dollarbill Traders. Facebook, consider also Dollarbill Traders. Twitter, consider Dollarbill Trades. Then we have our website, app fully running, Dollarbill Traders at gmail.com. Sorry. So every single detail is there. You can be helped. You have 24/7 support that is there.
Okay.
The phone calls and everything, it's all there.
Okay.
Very affordable.
All right. So I guess my final question is, it's considered a speculation for some, a risk factor for others. And so what are the risks that are there while people are considering venturing into this industry, even those that are in there and trying to find their level?
Yes, that's an amazing question, an amazing question. Now, the very first thing that people have, what people perceive outside there, is that when you get involved in these markets, you're risking 100% of your equity or of your money, which is very wrong. Reason being that even before you consider taking a trade, you can influence how much you're going to lose. Reason being that right now everything is electronic and it's computerized. As you said, in the foreign exchange market, it's over the counter. It means it's electronic, it's a network of banks. Okay? Now, you can easily use what they call, there is a tool called the stop loss. Okay? How much would you want to get, how much would you want to lose? Okay, in case it does not work out, how much am I willing to lose? Okay, even their systems, Dollarbill itself is developing a system where it will help you, okay, automatically manage your risk. You cannot go more than, let me say, 0.8% of your equity. Even if you try to risk more than that, because the systems are also used by the banks. I'll tell you something that is very interesting. I'll bring this out, because it's a fact. Banks are the biggest players in this industry.
Okay.
And the biggest players are actually the investment banks, because the investment banks, they'll facilitate these trade transactions and investment transactions and decisions for the commercial banks and also for asset management firms. Okay? The banks do day-to-day what they call spot trading. That is actual buying and selling of currencies between each other. Then they do get involved in what they call speculative trading, where they're coming in for a gain. Yes.
Okay, that is information. Well, if you need more information, you can contact Dollarbill on their social media platforms. Just type in Dollarbill Trades or Traders across different platforms and you'll be able to get more information, because I know this information has tickled something in you and you're inquisitive to know more so that you can have a better financial standing of yourself, and therefore you can achieve the things that you want to achieve with the ventures that you get into. And I trust that this has been very informative. Thank you so much, Rodin. Now, away from this, we want to take it to arts and culture this morning, and we are so looking forward to hearing from these guests that we have. Fina Mugirwa, who's the Secretary UMA. You do have the chairperson of UMA, and that is Cindy Sanu. She's going to be here, and of course, the man who makes you smile. His jokes are just so ridiculous, and that is Salvador himself. He's going to be in the house, and they're going to be talking about reshaping culture and policy for arts welfare. Now, arts welfare is a very big conversation. COVID-19 unearthed so many things that are not right with the arts and culture, and so they're here to help us understand what's the way forward. With Chris Igeni, do stay with us.